So I hope you can see the slide. First thing, I- is it possible turn off the light at the front here? Oh, yeah, because the slide is like, i- is it better? Right. Yeah. Today is a math seminar. We have about 3 hour. About 3 hour. Actually, it's about 2.5 hour. Right. My name is Matt. You can call me Matthew or you can call me Mr. Pang. So I will be your mathematics teacher today. So let's start about the agenda today. Yeah, because for but we only have limited time. So actually, I will select few chapter. Some I think is very easy to score in SPM, and but some is like very hard. I mean, I don't know. A lot of students ask me about like okay. First, I will introduce about common mistake because when I mark the exam paper, so many students make this kind of common mistake. It's very easy, but then you somehow you will make this kind of mistake. Then we'll go to some from 1 to from 3 topic. If you ask me from 1 and from 1 to from 3 topic is a topic you must score because it's extremely easy. And some even coming out in paper 2. So like volume, like the circular measure, all this is considered very easy. So yeah, I will go through this one. And straight line is my favorite topic because I think it's coming out in paper 1 and coming out in paper 2 and it's a compulsory question. It's very easy. So I will teach. And last two will be slightly hard a bit, trigonometry, and this part is actually quite easy, angle of elevation and angle of depression, but because it related to the trigonometry, so I joined both of these together. And then, yeah, this one, a lot of students don't like this topic, is line and plan in the 3 dimension. All right, if you have extra time, we'll go to circle 3 and set. If you have extra time, mean after 2.5 hours, I already finished all this, then we'll go to another 2 more topics. All right, so let's start. All right, this is some expectation of seminar today. If you attend the class last week, actually I say the same thing. So first thing is there's no magic. So when you come to this 2.5 hour, you shouldn't expect you will straight away get A from math. Basically, first thing is what I want you to do in this 3 hour seminar is you listen first. You don't need to actually like write down all the important notes because this live streaming will be recorded. And I guess the note you can download online also, so you don't need to worry you will miss anything. So you better listen to what I say, and if you have any part you don't understand, you write in the note or you can raise up your hand to ask me on the spot. Yeah, this is the best part about you are here, right? Because if you are watching live, you might not able to ask me questions. So if you are here, make sure you listen first. And then after you listen already, you understand already, make sure you go back home, you practice it. Because a lot of students think that they understand will equals to they can do the question. Trust me, it's totally not the same. Because when you listen to a teacher, oh, now I understand about this topic. But then when you go back home or during exam period, you will find out that I understand but I do not know how to do. So when you understand already, before you forget the concept and theory, make sure you go back home, try and practice. And the third part is challenge your friend. Yeah, because I graduate from psychology, so I believe in peer learning. Okay, peer learning basically is if you and your friend actually have the same level of knowledge, so maybe you all will have the same understanding on the certain topic. So if you challenge yourself, your friend actually can help you understand better about that topic. So yeah, you can try it out. So yeah, my favorite quote. Yeah, there's no secrets to success. It's a result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Okay, come to the most common mistake. First one, is it correct from this step to this step? Wrong. Why? Why is it wrong? I move the 2 to the other side, it become -2. Or, okay, because this 2 over here is not actually the value is 2. If you see carefully, this value actually is 2 over 3. Because I can separate into 2 parts, right? X over 3 plus 2 over 3. So when you move this 2 to the other side, you cannot move. In algebra, right, you need to remember something. Whenever you have plus or minus over here, this one considered as one term. So if you want to move, you make sure you move the whole thing. Unless this is multiply, then this considered as two different terms. So this one you have plus and minus, right? This is one term, so you cannot move the 2 to the other side, it becomes minus 2. So this is one of the most common mistake a lot of students will move like this. So make sure you don't do this. Second, can I actually simplify like this? This 2 and 2 I actually cut, and then I get x over 3y. No, never simplify a fraction when you see plus and minus like this. So I can give you some example. Yep. Yeah, a lot of students will do this kind of mistake. It's something like this. Maybe like x plus 3 over 6 equals to 2. Example. Yeah, a lot of students, 3 and 6 I can simplify. I got 2. Then x equals to 4. Don't do this kind of mistake. Why? Because you have a plus. I said when you have plus and minus, this one actually considered as one term. You don't simplify like this. Alright. So what you can do is basically you need to move this one to the other side, and then you minus. So you will get x plus 3 over 6 equals to 2. Then x plus 3 equals to 12. X equals to 9. Alright. And of course I will show you why that one is wrong also. If you like wondering, maybe I lied to you. Let's see. So let's say I have 6 plus 2 over 3 plus 2. What is this? 6 plus 2 equals to 8. 3 plus 2 equals to 5. This value is 8 over 5 or 1.6. If I assume, I can cut like this. 6 over 3 is, so which is not the same, isn't it? So therefore, you can never cut like that. Don't make this kind of mistake. Next one. Any problem for this part? This is x plus 5 over 2, and I move my over 2 to the other side, it becomes multiply 2. Is it okay? Why? Okay, because you can only move the over 2 to the other side, become multiply 2, if the whole thing is over 2. Because the x over here don't have the over 2. Yeah, if you learn some math from YouTube video like US mathematics, what they teach for this kind of question is something like this. They will teach the student like they multiply 2 for every single one. So, which is something like this. X plus 5 over 2 equals to 10. Okay, this is what they learn in US. If they want to eliminate the denominator 2, right, they will multiply 2 for every single one. Then they multiply 2 already, this one becomes 2x, right? They write down the 2x. And 2 and 2, they simplify, plus 5 equals to 20. They will do like this. But because in Malaysia, we always learn something like divide, move to the other side is multiply. So you will be very easy to make those kind of mistake, but make sure you don't make this kind of mistake. So because the x don't have divide 2, unless you have the question something like this, x plus 5 over 2 equals to 10. Alright, then this one can move to the other side, become multiply 2. But if x don't have divide 2, you cannot just move the 2 and become multiply 2. Right. Next. Is it okay? The first step is 1 over a plus 1 over b equals to 1 over c. So therefore, I flip over everything, a plus b equals to c. Okay, this is another no, okay? So you do make this kind of mistake because the value itself is not the same. Example, today if I have 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 equals to 1 over x. I cannot say 2 plus 3 equals to x, then x equals to 5. Don't do this because what? We know if you want to solve this and find x, we basically need to make them have the same denominator, right? We basically need to times 3, times 3, times 2, times 2. Then you basically, this one you have 6, 5 equals to 1 over x. Then x will equals to 5 over 6. So it's not the same value. So because a lot of students think that a fraction you can flip over. Yes, fraction you can flip over if you don't have the plus at the middle. Right, if you have a plus and the middle, you cannot just flip over everything at the same time and you think A plus B equals C, which is wrong. Okay, so next one. Yeah, can I multiply the 2 into it? No, you can't. Why? Yep, some students will say you need to expand the bracket first. Yes, correct. But if I do not want to expand the bracket, is it possible I multiply in? Okay, today you have 2 over x plus 3 power of 2. Okay, you cannot multiply these 2 into the bracket. One of the reasons is not because you haven't expanded the bracket. You can multiply if they have the same power. Today, if I say this is 2 power of 2, or this number is a 4, 4 I can change to 2 square, isn't it? Do you see they have the same power? I can multiply in. It becomes 2x plus 6 power of 2. You might think maybe I lied to you. Let's see. Alright, this is 4, right? This one, if I expand, I will get x squared plus 6x plus 9. I multiply the 4, I get 4x squared plus 24x plus 36. What if I expand this one? Let's see. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared, right? You should know the formula. 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2 multiply first term, second term. 2 multiply 2x, 4x. 4x multiply 6, 24x. And then 6 squared, 36. Are they the same? They are the same term. So therefore, if they have the same power, then only you can multiply. But over there, the 2 basically is power 1. When 2 is power 1, you cannot do the multiplication. Mean this, when I doesn't write any number here, mean it's power 1. But if you insist, you want to expand like this, you can. Because we know when we square root and square together, it becomes power 1, isn't it? Now, these 2 actually have the power of 2 already. Then I can multiply this one in. Becomes something like this. Square root 2x plus 3 square root 2 power of 2. If I insist I want to multiply the 2 into it, or else you can just do like normally, means you expand it and only you multiply 2 into it. But don't multiply like that because so many students make this kind of mistake. So you make sure you don't do it. Alright, next one. Okay, is the first one correct? Or not? First one, the x cubed over y cubed, is it equals to x over y power of 3? Yes, it is. Yeah, I purposely trap you one. Yeah, so basically the first one is correct. How about second one? Is the second one any of in modern math you already learned about power have negative, isn't it? Or you never see power have negative? So is this one correct? Yeah, this one is correct. Okay, let me explain here. Alright, so this is what happens when your power have negative. So let's say I have a over b power of negative 1. What's the meaning of power negative? Power negative is mean 1 over, isn't it? A over b. So this one will equals to b over a. So normally this is what I will teach my student. If you see the power negative and here is a fraction, flip over the thing. So the faster way is, you see the negative, right? You want to like put the negative inside the bracket, it will become flip over power of 1. Alright, so if today this is negative 3, then this one will become flip over power of 3. Then if b power of 3 over a power of 3, if I further expand them, power of 3 need to for both, right? So become b over 3 over a over 3. Alright, so you apply the same method for that example, you will realize you actually get the same result. Because y over x power of negative 3, you apply the negative into it first, it becomes x over y. And then power 3, you multiply into the both there, you get exactly the same result. So this one is correct. So is this one correct? Okay, this one is wrong. Which part wrong? Yeah, 8. So when you multiply the power 1 over 3 into here, this is something you must be very careful. The first thing is, if this is power and this is power, we do multiply. Of course, some students understand power 1 over 3 basically mean cube root. But for power and power, we only do multiply. But for number and power, then we do cube root. Or you can use your calculator, type 8 power of 1 over 3. But also depend which calculator you are using. If you are using the old model, like this one, make sure you bracket the power. Or else, this is what happened. Yeah, because a lot of students will type like this, 8 power of 1 over 3, isn't it? This is what your calculator will tell you. But if you straight away type like this, what the calculator understand is 8 power of 1 over 3. This is what the calculator will understand. The calculator says, yeah, this is the command correct one, 8 power 1. And then the whole thing over 3. So therefore, if you are using that model of calculator, you have to tell him you want 8 power, but the 1 over 3, I want it together as a fraction. Then the calculator understand you want 8 power of 1 over 3. Now this is something very minor, but you make sure you don't make this kind of mistake. Because so many of my students, when they type in the calculator, they will got this problem. So if you understand indices, you should know for 1 over 3, 1 represent power, 3 represent root. Okay, so you see the 3, okay, this one I just explain a little bit. Right. So if I have x power of a over b, don't use so many a, b, like you number. 16 power of 5 over 4. Okay. Without using calculator, what number you will get? Is 16 power of 5 over 4. Some MS student here? You should know this one very fast, right? Which is 32. Okay, but how do I know this is 32? Because what? I know this one basically mean power. And this one basically mean root. So if you ask me about fourth root of 16, I know it's equals to 2. And you ask me 2 power of 5 is equals to 32. So therefore, I know whenever you have power is a fraction, you just remember the numerator means the number on the top is mean power. The number at the bottom is mean root. If 4 over here means fourth root. If 2 over here means square root. If 3 over there means cube root. Okay, so this is something you need to understand about indices power. If you have the negative, I will get 1 over 32. Because like what I said just now, power negative is mean 1 over. Okay, make sure you remember this. Okay, is prime number start at 2? Yes, prime number start at 2. Don't tell me prime number start at 1, okay? This is not a common mistake, but a lot of students just always think prime number will start at 1. Okay, prime number always start at 2. Alright, then we go to sum from 1 to from 3 topics. First is simultaneous equation. This topic actually is quite easy if you are good in algebra. But what problem about this topic is, it's a K-bar favorite topic. If you do a lot of state paper, you will realize, or even you see some past year paper, most of the K-bar question coming out from this topic. But I will just cover a little bit. You learn about elimination method and substitution method, right? Yeah, so I will always recommend elimination methods if you do not want your step to be too long. But also depend, if you have so many fractions, then you just do the substitution method. And these two methods you can learn in reference book, so I will just skip. Okay, so we check out the first question here. Okay, so today, all of the question I use is from the Kertas Percubaan last year. So just in case, if you can't see the question clearly, but you can copy down the paper title here. So this is MRSM, means the Mara paper 2018, paper 2, question 2. Okay, so let's see this question. So okay, you will see the first sentence they actually say solution by matrix method is not allowed. So basically you shouldn't use metric to solve your simultaneous, even though you can use the metric to solve, but I guess most of the students won't do that. Alright, then okay. So Injek Asman was assigned to prepare a proposal fee for the replacement of the broken tile in the teacher washroom. So Injek Asman presented two suggestions of the design and cost in RM for the replacement of the broken tiles as shown in the diagram 2.1 and 2.2. Right, given that is it B? B is the B is the cost of in RM of the black tile, and W is the cost in RM for white tile. Write down two equations based on the diagram 2.1. Hence, calculate the cost of black tile and white tile. Right. So over here, they actually tell you B stands for number of black tile, and W is the number of white tile. So first thing you need to form two equations. Okay, when I say form equation, you need to make sure that thing have the equal sign over there. Alright, so let's see the first diagram. How many black do you have? Okay, first I will calculate what's the total lah. Make my life easier. 6 times 6. Total we have 36 here. Okay, so I want to know among the 36 here, how many white and how many black, and we have the cost also, 342. So black is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I have 12 is black, my white will be. So I have 12 black and 24 white, and equals to 300. What's number? 42. So this is what they call equation. When we say equation, first thing you must have the equal sign, and then normally is some unknown equals to some number. Okay, so I will do the same thing for the second diagram. For second diagram here, my white basically will be 16, right? 4 times 4, 16 there. So if white is 16, the black will be 20, isn't it? Because total is 36, right? So I have 20 black plus 16 white equals to, what's the cost there? 354. Okay, then they of course they ask you to find the value of B and W lah, which is what is the price or costing. Yep, this is not the number, this is the price. Sorry, because the number already given, which is 12. So this one price, or you can say is a cost. So this one basically is a cost. B is the cost of the black tile, and W will be the cost of the white tile. Alright, so I will always ask my student to use the elimination method. So if I want to use the elimination method, what is the first thing I should do? I need to make either my B or W have the same value. Okay, over here, of course, most of the students, without thinking, they will think, multiply 20 for this one, multiply 12 for this one. This is the easiest way, make them have the same thing. But then the number is very big. So therefore, I will always find the lower common multiply. What is the lower common multiply for 12 and 20? Yeah, it will be 60. Because 12 times 5, you will get 60, right? 20 times 3, you will get 60. So therefore, it's 60. Alright, so if this is 60, so what I will do is the first equation, I will multiply 5 in order to make my 12 have 60. Second equation, I will multiply 3. Right, so let's multiply. This one times 5 for every single one. So I'll get 60 black plus 120 white plus this one will be what? 0, 1, 1, 7, 1, 0. Okay? Do the same thing for this one. I have 60 black plus 48 white equals to 2, 6, 1062. Okay, so both have the same 60B already, right? We minus them. 60B minus 60B gone. This one minus this one will get What value will we get? 72, right? Yep. And this one minus, we will get 856. Then we divide it. What value we will get after we divide? Something wrong. Am I do any mistake here? Yeah, 648, right? Okay, divide by 648 over 72. You will get 9. So if W equals to 9, you just plug it back. So you have 12B plus 24. W equals to 9, right? Just now you just find out equals to 342. So you solve this equation. 12B plus 24 times 9, you will get 216 equals to 342. Then over here, you just need to move your 216 to the other side, become minus, and move your 12 to the other side, become divide. Then you can get your B value here, 342 minus 216 divided by 12. You will get 10.5. Okay, but what's so good about this kind of simultaneous question is you can always check your answer is correct or not. Because for simultaneous, you must check, or else you actually wasted the mark. So for white tile, over here is 9 ringgit for each tile. For black, it will be 10.5, right? So let's say I can apply back to my equation to see whether I can get the 342 or not, or I apply back to my second equation to see whether I can get 354 or not. So what I will do is like this. 12, my black tile will be 10.5. 10.5 plus 24, white tile will be 9. 9. And then I check my answer. If my answer is 342, that means my answer is correct. So after you got the answer, make sure you always substitute back into your original equation to see your answer is correct or not. Okay? Second question here. Alright. The total amounts, okay, this is the tickets for a charity show. Okay, for the SMK Dato Asman Jaya. So the total amounts of 125 tickets sold for the charity show is 1820. Adult, actually they're charging per ticket is 16. Children, they're charging per ticket is 10. Right. Here, this kind of question is quite hard for some students, and they give you 5 marks. Okay, because while over here you have 2 information. One information is about number of ticket. Second information is about total revenue. So basically, they give you these 2 information. What is the purpose of it? They want you to form 2 equations. So that's means number of ticket over here can give me first equation. And then total revenue here will give me second equation. But how am I going to form the first equation is, because I do not know how many tickets they sell for adult and how many tickets they sell for children. So when I do not know means what? I can add any unknown here. You can use X or Y, or you just use A and C. Normally, I prefer to use the first letter. Unless the first letter is the same, then I will use X and Y. But if you prefer X and Y, you can always do that. Or you want A and B also can. All right. Okay, never mind. We say X equals to adult. Number of ticket for adult. And Y is the number of ticket for children. Okay, so I will use the first information to form the first equation. So the first information tell me what? Total I sell how many tickets? 125. X and Y is my number of tickets. So I know X plus Y must equals to 125. That means maybe they sell 45 tickets for adult. Then this one, Y will be 80. That means both plus together have to be 125. This is how I use the first information to form my first equation. Alright, the second information is the total revenue. Total revenue, they get is 1820. But how do I get the total revenue? I don't care how many I sell for adult, but I have to use the adult multiply back the price of adult, right? Which is 16. So I will say 16x. What is the idea of 16x here? Means if I adult selling 1 ticket, I get 16. If my adult selling 2 ticket here, I will get 32 ringgit. If my adult selling 3 ticket here, it's 48, and so on. So I do not know what is the x value, it doesn't matter. 16x means total money I get from adult ticket plus 10y. Because y is a children, right? Children need to match with the children ticket price equals to 1820. Alright, this is how I form these two equations. After you form these two equations, the following thing is just to make them have the same y or same x. So over here, I guess the easiest one is multiply 10. Of course, I can multiply 16, but 10 look a lot easier, right? So the first equation here, I'm going to multiply 10. So when I say multiply 10, basically multiply for every single one. So 10 multiply x, 10x. 10 multiply y, 10y. 10 multiply this one, 1250. Have the same value already, right? Both is plus, we minus it. So 16x minus 10x. 10y minus 10y, 0. And this one, after you minus, you should get 570, right? So you can get your x value easily by divide 6. So after you divide, you should be able to get 95 ticket for adult. Then I want to know number of children. I will say 95 plus y equals to 125. I just substitute my 95 back into this equation, and then I will get my y equals to 30. Just 125 minus 95, then I get 30. So understand this kind of question is very important because it's 5-mark question. It's actually not like extremely hard, but then you need to understand why they give you that two information, because the question want you to form two different equations, and how to get the enough information from the table. Yeah, this is something quite challenging. So make sure you understand. If you do not understand, you can raise your hand and ask me, or write in the paper later. We can discuss back. Yeah, quite a lot of students ask me about this question in my YouTube, so let's check it out. Okay, basically the school actually they go for a trip here, and then they have about 72 students. So motorized and van arrive in the Panda Merdeka. Only 2 people are allowed on motorcycle, and 6 people are on the board in the van, including the driver. So the ride of all vehicle until they are full. Okay, so over here, this question is slightly harder a little bit. Okay, so basically over here you have you have motor, and each motor here actually can only fetch 2 people. I guess should be student himself actually drive the motor, should be student himself drive the van, I guess, because here it doesn't give me how many number of driver here. So I assume this student should have the motor license and the car license, or else this question will be extremely hard to solve because we don't have the number of driver here. Alright, so okay, we have 72 students. That means we need to allocate them, and then we need to know if we go for this trip, how many motor and how many van we need to book in order to fulfill 72 students. So over here, what you need to know is like, if you want to do X and Y, you kind of realize this is the simultaneous, but your X and Y represent what? So this is something you need to think. So over here, X will be my number of motor because I do not know how many number of motor I need, and Y will be my number of van, and at the same time I do not know how many van I need. But what I know is total I have 72, right? Any other information I have? I should need one more information. Am I miss up any? Oh, taya. Oh, okay, so over here they say calculate the number of van and the number of motorcycle if there are 56 taya. Because what? If I do x and y is a two unknown. In order to solve two unknown, I at least need two information. This is the logic. If today you have the equation have x, y, and z, three unknown, right? That means you need three information to form three equation. Then only you can solve three unknown. So because here we have x and y, so just now when I see I only have 72 students, which is not enough information for me to solve this kind of information, this kind of question. But luckily I have 56 taya. So let's do it. So I will say x will be the number of motorcycle, and y will be the number of van. So because for motorcycle there can only be 2 students, right? So I will call it 2x. For van it can be 6 students, right? Plus 6y will equals to total 72 students. This is how I form the first equation. Second, because it only have 56 taya, right? Motor have how many taya? 2, right? Van will be 4 taya equals to 56. Alright, so this question I'm going to leave it to yourself and then you solve it. Basically the hard part is only form the equation. After you got the equation, the rest will be quite easy. So you solve it yourself. Alright. Okay, next topic. The art and the sector. So this part actually is quite easy, but I just want to say a little bit here. Then we can go into the questions. So over here you have the art length. Normally we call S as art length. So whenever you want to find the art length, first thing is some student will tell me the art length means the parameter. No. Art length basically means the curved line here. This one we call art length. Alright, so therefore your first formula basically only find this part. It's not finding the whole parameter of the sector. It's only find this part. Okay, this is the first idea. And then you should understand about that formula. Isn't it? This is a theta. So whatever angle you have, divide 360. Actually, it makes sense one. Because what? Imagine if this one is a circle. If this one is a circle, the whole circle angle will be 360, right? And if you want to find the perimeter of the circle, or they call circumference, which is 2 pi r. 2 pi r is a whole circle circumference, right? So if I only want to take this part, what I will do is I will only take this angle divided by 360. Correct or not? If this angle is 10, 10 over 360 multiply 2 pi r. So same idea for area of sector. Because you know the whole area of the circle will be pi r square. But if I only want to take one portion, one small portion out of 360, then I will use the angle divide 360 multiply pi r square. Right, this is how I remember the formula, but I guess this formula is given, right, in the exam. Okay, so you kind of no need to remember the formula, but understand which one is used for which part. Whenever you see 2 pi r is used for the length, and pi r square is used for the area. Normally how I remember last time, because sometimes I will get confused which one used for area and confused and length. So what I will do over here is, I know the area basically means cm square, right? So you can see this one have the square here, so used for area. This one don't have square, so this one used for length. Alright. So yep, here is some question. The first one is the easiest one. I insert some easy and hard one. Yeah, the second one will be slightly harder. Let's check out the first one first. Okay, when the question say use pi as a 22 over 7, you cannot type pi in your calculator. Because a lot of students 2 pi out, they just type 2 multiply the pi in your calculator. You will get the less accurate answer. So if the question give you pi must equal to 22 over 7, you have to type 22 over 7 in your calculator. Even though it's a bit inconvenient, but then you have to follow, or else you will get less accurate answer. Okay, so first one, they ask you to find the area of the shaded region. So in order to get this area of the shaded region here, basically you just need to minus this part. This area of sector actually is quite easy. You just need to minus this part. So over here, they will give you some information. They will say equilateral triangle OJM with a side is 14. So equilateral means what? Equilateral means 3 length will be same. Second information about equilateral triangle, which is, what is the angle inside? 60 degree. Because 3 sides is the same length, 3 angle must be the same also. So 180 divided by 3, you will get 60 for each. Why you need this 60? Because it will tell you this angle will be 120. 180 minus the 60, you get 120. So after you get the angle, and then you know this one is the 14 centimeter and this end is the midpoint, then you know this one will be 7. So you have the R, you have the angle, you can find area easily, right? Use the second formula. So what I will do here is 120 over 360 multiply pi r square. Pi, I don't use pi. I use 22 over 7. R is 7 square. So this is the white color sector, the white sector over there. So 1, 3, simplify. So basically you will get 154 over 3 cm square. I guess it's a cm. Right, and then I want the area of shaded region. I basically use the whole big sector minus this part, isn't it? So in order to get the whole big sector, you need to know what is the length here. So I guess they have another midpoint, right? N is the midpoint of JM. Okay, then you know this one is 14 also, right? And this one will be, what's the length for JK? 7. Because this is a radius, right? If this is 7, this one need to be the same, right? So 7 plus 14. So this big sector have the radius of 21. And this angle over here will be 60. So this sector, I have the R is 21. Angle is 60. Then I can just find it. So basically what I will do over here is 60 over 360 multiply pi r square, 21 square, and then you type in the calculator, you will get one answer here. And then in order to get the shaded region, I just use my answer minus 154 over 3. Then I can get the area of the shaded region. Okay, so you need to analyze a little bit. The second part, they ask you to find the parameter. So parameter, basically you need to find 2 things first. The arc length of LK and the arc length of KN. Alright, arc length, I will use back the arc length formula here. So I find the NK first. Okay, so it will be 120 over 360 multiply 2 pi r. 2 pi r. 22 over 7 as a pi. R will be 7. This one is for the KN, right? Is it called KN? Yep, KN. Is for the arc of KN. So I solve this one. 7 and 7 I simplify. This is 1 over 3, 44 over 3. Alright, then we need to find the second arc length, which is the L to K. So same thing, it will be 60 degree out of 360, multiply 2, multiply pi, which is 22 over 7. And then multiply R, 21. Alright, after you find these 2 arc length, the next thing you do is basically you plus all the parameter here. You know this one actually equals to 14. So we will plus 14, plus 7. and then plus this arc length. I don't think you need to plus the JK, because JK obviously shouldn't exist. And then you plus 14, and then you plus 7, and then you plus this arc length. Okay, this one is the total parameter of the shaded region. Okay, next one. Okay, this one will be slightly hard if you cannot see the diagram. So basically, diagram 9 actually show the 4 land shapes region formed by intersection of 4 identical circle PQRS. Is a square with a side of the length of 28. Okay. So this question tell you this square basically is 28 and 28. Square actually is an important keyword. That means here is 28 also. Alright, then the first thing is they ask you to find the parameter of the shaded region. So if you see carefully, this parameter here actually is formed by 4 semicircles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 semicircle basically equals to 2 circle. 1 circle equals to 2 pi r. So 2 pi r plus 2 pi r, or you can say double of 2 pi r. Okay, but if this is the semicircle, my radius will be 14. Because 28 is the whole thing, right? 28 is the diameter. So I will just use 14. Okay, so yeah, if you can see that, then your parameter will be easier a little bit. So I know it's equals to 2 circle, right? So I will do 2 multiply 2 pi r. This is parameter. So pi equals to 22/7 given r equals to 14. That's all. So what you need to do is type in the calculator lah. So this one will give you 2, 44, 88, 176, isn't it? Okay. Okay, then next thing is a parameter. Parameter is a hard one. Okay. Over here, if I want to find the parameter of this weird shape here, so what I want to do is I basically from this part here, do you see this part? I will cut it into the half here. If I cut it into the half here, do you see a sector with 90 degree? Right angle sector. From this right angle sector, if I cut half here, this part actually we call it segment. And we have, if I cut it half like this, I basically have 8 segments. Do you see that? So if I can find one of the segment, I multiply 8, I can get the answer. But if you cannot see, I can draw out for you. Okay. But I will draw out one part only. So okay, this is the part I saying. So I only want to find this part, which is we call it segment. So how am I going to find this part? Basically, I will use a sector minus a triangle. Then I will get this part. And then you realize I have 8 of it, right? This is another part, and this part is identical with this one. So they are the same. They have the same area. So I times 2, I can get 1 whole part here, and then you have 4 whole part over there, right? So basically, I just find one of the segment, and then I multiply 8. So okay, so this is 90 degree, and radius, I should have the radius, which is 14. This is 14. So you can use the formula if you want, or you can just remember pi r squared divided by 4. Yeah, either one will get the same result. So what I will do here is I will use the area of sector, which is the pi, never mind, 90 over 360, multiply 22/7 pi r square, 14 square, minus area of triangle. 90 degree, right? Triangle should be very easy. Half times base times height. Half minus half times base times height. Yeah, you will get an answer after you type in the calculator. So the shaded region equals to 8 multiply your answer here. And then you will get the final result. Okay? Can understand, right? Please let me know if you cannot understand. If not, I will going to keep on moving on. What is the time now? 10:30. Good, we still have 2 hours. Okay, I move on. The type calculator part, you no need to be like so serious about it. You just go back home type. Okay, for even though this topic is called volume and surface area, but if you check out your SPM question, you realize you only have volume. And so far, I never see about surface area. Do we have surface area in SPM question? No, right? Because I always remember both of the formula, but normally I only can use the volume because they're always coming out with the volume. So this is the formula. I'm not going to say so much. I just want to say about prism. Cylinder, cone, and sphere, yeah, just as usual. Yes, this is what I want to say about prism. Okay, first thing is, when we call prism, we not necessarily this part must be trapezium. This part can be any shape one. Actually, cylinder is part of the prism also. So when we call it prism, basically they must have two area is identical one. These two area must be the same. So if I draw a triangle here, then behind I got the same triangle, then this one will become the prism. So as long as this trapezium and this trapezium is the same, we call it prism. So how to find the volume of this one is you just find the area of the whatever area is this one, multiply the length. So I can give you some idea of the prism. If let's say you do not understand. Okay, I can have a triangle like this, and then I connect both of the triangle. So this one will be the prism. As long as this area of triangle and this area of triangle is the same, then there will be a prism. Even though I can draw a pentagon here, and then I draw another pentagon here, and then I connect all the pentagon, it will become prism also. You just need to find the area of pentagon and then multiply the length. So this is the logic. Okay, so if you see the trapezium, you just find the area of trapezium and then multiply the length. Okay, so and then sphere. Okay, I want to say about hemisphere lah. Sphere is nothing to say. Hey, but you don't have area, right? It's okay. I will skip that part. Okay. Yeah, this is the Gerda paper 2018, paper 2. Okay, you have this volume, and then they say they're actually taking out some part, right? Diagram 5 actually show the solid right prism with the rectangular base ABCD on the horizontal table. So the trapezium ABFE is the uniform cross section. Cross section means you have two trapezium, the same, they call cross section of a prism. A half cylinder is removed from the prism. Pi using 22/7, calculate the volume of the remaining solid. So basically over here, you have this prism, and then they remove the half of cylinder here. I said prism very easy to find. You need to find the area of trapezium here, multiply the length. Do you see this trapezium and the trapezium at the back here is totally the same, right? Find the area of trapezium, multiply the length. Alright, so this part is easy. And half of the cylinder, we know the cylinder formula, pi r square h. Half of it divide 2. So we use the prism minus the half of cylinder. That's all. So okay, how to find trapezium? Half a plus b multiply height, right? A and b will be, okay, just in case you do not know how to find trapezium. Okay, whenever we call the shape trapezium, it must have two lines which is parallel one. These two lines must be parallel. If you don't have two parallel lines, it can never call it trapezium. Okay, this parallel line we always call it A and B. And you need to find a 90-degree height. So the formula for trapezium area is equals to half A plus B multiply height. Okay, A and B is a two parallel line. I doesn't care which one comes first. So in this case, your A and B will be 10 and 15. Your height will be 12. So half times 10 plus 15 multiply 12. This is trapezium, right? Multiply the length. The length will be 8. Then I get the whole prism. I need to minus half of the cylinder. Half of the cylinder will be pi r. R will be, what is the R value? Will be 4. 8 will be a diameter. Pi r square h. What is the height? Height will be 12. Okay, this one will be half cylinder. Minus it, you get the answer. Quite easy. You just need to make sure you know how to get trapezium, and then you know how the prism is come from the trapezium and form the volume. Okay. Next. Okay, this one actually is quite easy. I'm going to explain this one, but you do it yourself. Okay, so basically you need to find the whole boxes. This is cuboid. Cuboid, nothing to say, just length times width times height. Okay, you should know how to find cuboid. This is another prism. So I said when we call prism, not necessarily must be trapezium. It can be a triangle here. So I just need to find this area of triangle. Area of triangle, this is 90 degrees, right? Quite easy. We know here is 100, then here will be 50. This part will be 50, this one will be 40. So half times 50 times 40, you get the area of triangle. Multiply this one. This length will be same with the 60, right? So multiply 60, you get the whole prism here, plus the cuboid. Then you get the whole answer for this question. So I'm going to skip because it's very easy. If you don't understand, you can ask me after the seminar. Okay, straight line. So far so good. I hope you have no problem. Okay, straight line is quite important because paper 1 you have 2 to 3 questions, and paper 2 normally you have a 6-mark question. So yeah, let's check this out. So yep, for straight line, first thing is y equals to mx plus c. But you should know y equals to mx plus c, basically we call it as the gradient form. Okay, why we call this one as a gradient form? Because this equation, the good thing about this equation is you can straight away get the gradient. As long as you arrange your equation into the y equals to mx plus c, you can get your gradient and your y-intercept straight away from the equation. Because not all the equation you can get the gradient straight away. I can give you some idea. Today, if I have the x over 4 plus y over 3 equals to 5. From here, this kind of equation, there's no way you can get the gradient so fast. Of course, if your algebra is like so good, you should know the gradient is negative 3 over 4. But then, or else, you need to arrange whatever equation you have, arrange into the y equals to mx plus c, because what? You want to get two information, gradient and y-intercept. Okay, so therefore, always arrange your equation into the y equals to mx plus c. And then here, basically, you have two different type formula you can use to find the gradient. Of course, if they want to k-bar, you have one more, which is you can use the tangent to find the gradient. But normally, you don't use tangent, you just use these two. Alright, so first one is very common. I guess all of you should know the first formula. The second formula, I quite like to use it if I have both intercept, x-intercept and y-intercept. So just in case you do not know what is the meaning of intercept, intercept means the line, if the line will touch the y-axis, we call y-intercept. If this line touch the x-axis, we call x-intercept. Okay, if I want to find y-intercept or x-intercept from the equation, what I can do? This is x-axis, this is y-axis. If I want to find x-intercept, y will always equal to 0. Okay? If I want to find y-intercept, x will equal to 0. But why? Okay, if you careful to see the coordinate here, 1, 2, 3, 4, example, what we call the first coordinate? We call 1, 0, isn't it? Second coordinate we call 2, 0. Third coordinate we call 3, 0, and so on, 4, 0. And what thing they share in the common is you realize all of their y is 0. This is the reason if you want to find the x-intercept, we always make y equals to 0 because it is the fact. So same idea, if you want to find the y-intercept, we just make the equation x equals 0. So I go back to the example, this one. Let's say I have a weird equation like this, and I want to find what is the x-intercept. So I say x-intercept, basically we make y equals to 0. This equation here, I make y equals to 0. 0 divided by 3, you get 0 equals to 5. So x equals to 20. That means this line is going to cut the x-intercept at 20. This is the meaning. If you get x equals to 20, it doesn't mean you will get 20 somewhere else. It just means you will get 20 0. This is the how we find the x-intercept. So same equation here. If I want to find y-intercept today, what I will do is I will make x equals to 0. You just remember y-intercept x0, x-intercept y0. So I make x0, 0 divided by 4, I get 0. So I get y over 3 equals to 5. My y-intercept will be 15. So that means I will touch at 15 here. Okay, get the idea? How to get x-intercept and y-intercept? Because in paper 2, it's 2-mark question, very easy. As long as you know equals to 0, you can easily substitute back in your equation and get the bonus mark. Alright, and what I want to say is that one, equation in the intercept form, that one actually always come out in paper 1. Because at first I thought that one is an MF formula, but when I go through the paper 1 question, I realized modern math also have, so I will say about it. Alright, so we have x over a plus y over b equals to 1. Okay, about this formula, got 2 things you must pay attention. First is, this symbol must be always plus. If this symbol is minus, you need to change it to plus. Second, this one must be always positive 1. This one must be always plus. Okay, if fulfill these 2 conditions, then a will be x-intercept. The value below the a, below the x, will be x-intercept. B over here is the value below the y, will be y-intercept. I give you an example. Today I have x over 2 plus y over 3 equals to 1. I will check my equation. Is this plus? Yes. Is this positive 1? Yes. Then I can sketch my graph straight away from this information. My x-intercept is 2. Y-intercept is 3. 3. Why I write y here? 3. Okay, this is how I can get from here. But today, if I'm not so friendly, I want to trap you. I put minus. Okay, this is what happened. I say this one must be plus. If I have the minus here, what I will do is I change it to plus. But how can I simply change the equation? The minus I'm going to bring to the 3. This is what happened. So therefore, my graph here will be like this. 2 and negative 3. Okay, so if you have the minus here, because you can see plus multiply negative, I still get back the negative, right? I didn't actually change the value of the equation. But if you see the minus here, that means the negative is belong to here. If today I even more not friendly, I put the negative 1 here. Or even I put the negative 2 lah. If I put the negative 2, it will be very bad lah. But I put a negative 1 here. I say here must be positive. Here must be positive 1 also. So if I see the negative 1, what I can do is, the whole equation, I'm going to multiply negative 1. So you can see, when I multiply negative 1, I will do like this. The negative I multiply for denominator also, only negative 2 plus y over negative 3 equals to positive 1. Then I can sketch my graph. X-intercept and y-intercept is like this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis, right? Negative 2, negative 3, 0. So this is what happened. Because in your paper 1, they love to give you this equation, I don't know why. And then normally it's not so friendly one. I see few questions from Kertas Percubaan, this is not plus. So when you see this equation, it's very useful. Of course, a lot of students can use back y equals to ms plus c lah. If you just don't like about this formula, you think, why I need to remember another new formula? Then you just move around, multiply 6 for the whole equation, change it into y equals to ms plus c, and then sub in x equal to 0, sub in y equal to 0 to get the intercept. But if you understand intercept form, actually you can do things very fast. But one last thing before I move on is the gradient. If let's say, I move it back to 1. Okay, let's say I have this equation. I want to get the gradient. The question asks, A, what is the gradient of this equation, of this straight line? So therefore, I say about this formula. Do you see this formula? Gradient actually equals to negative y-intercept over x-intercept. So you understand x-intercept is 2, y-intercept is 3. So I can get the gradient easily 3 over 2. But don't forget about negative. This formula, most common mistake is students just ignore the negative. They just say y-intercept over x-intercept. It's only correct half if you forget about negative. So I can get the gradient very fast without changing back this one into y equals ms plus c. So remember this intercept form, very useful one. Okay, so yep. And then lastly, they will ask you to form the equation. So whenever the question asks about find the equation of PQ, find the equation of JK or whatsoever, whenever you want to find the equation of straight line or any linear line, you need to make sure you have two information. First, must have the gradient. If you don't have gradient, you can't form the equation. Second, you will need to have a one coordinate. This coordinate must be on the line. Because what? So many students, they will do something like this. Let's say this is coordinate A, coordinate B. If I want to find the equation of the straight line, maybe AC. I want to find the equation of the straight line AC here. I cannot use the point B to find because point B is not on the line. Okay, so this is something very important. So in order to find the equation of straight line, make sure you have two information, have the gradient, have one coordinate. This coordinate not necessarily must be y-intercept, but you have the coordinate, you can sub into the y equals to ms plus c to form the equation. Alright, so let's check out some question here. I got put some hard question here and some easy one. Okay, let's have a look on the first question. It's exactly like what I said just now. Okay, for the first question here, what is the answer? A, B, C, or D? Okay, just in case some students cannot see, this is x over A minus y over B equals to positive 1. Like what I say just now, intercept form, check two information, middle must be negative. I mean positive 1. I mean positive, and this one must be positive 1. Alright, so okay, so this one is negative, isn't it? If this one is negative, means what? I need to move my negative down to my B. So therefore, my B should be at the negative side. So you can see my B should be at the negative. And this A is positive, right? A must be positive. It's here. So answer will be A. Okay, this is something a bit tricky. Okay, second one. Okay, you have the RT is 13 centimeter. Where is R and T? Okay, RT is 13 here. And what else information? R is the midpoint of OP. Okay, so R is the midpoint. This is 10 unit, right? Yeah, actually they shouldn't use cm because in graph we never measure it as a cm. We assume it's a 13 unit lah. Okay, but you want cm also can, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the midpoint, right? Midpoint tell me what? This one will be 5 and 5, isn't it? You see 5 and 13, you know this is Pythagoras. 5 and 13, you can solve the triangle, right? 5, 13, this one must be 12. Use 13 square minus 5 square. Square root it, you will get 12. Okay, 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagoras. It's a Pythagoras, not some number I come up myself. Okay, so you just use 13 square minus 5 square, square root it. Okay, so you get 12. You get 12 over here. They ask you to find the gradient of RT. This is intercept. This is intercept, isn't it? This is 12. Sorry, this one must be negative 12. It's a negative 12, right? Because x-axis is here. Negative 12, this one will be 5, right? I say gradient formula have two. I prefer the intercept, negative intercept, right? So with negative y-intercept 5 over x-intercept negative 12. Negative 5 over negative 12, 5 over 12. Donkey. Okay, if you don't like about that, you can do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Yeah, you can always do that. But just remember the intercept formula for gradient. Negative y-intercept over x-intercept. This is 12, but then because of the position of coordinate t, it is negative 12, even though the length is 12. But then the coordinate must be negative 12. Got it? Alright, this one. The straight line actually passing through these two coordinates and find the y-intercept. Okay, I say you want to find intercept, you have straight line, but you don't have equation. So impossible you straight away get the answer. So you need to form the equation. Form the equation, you need two information. You need gradient and coordinate. You have two coordinates, so you definitely no problem about coordinate, but you don't have gradient. So over here, I need to find gradient first. Then I use one of the coordinate. Either one will give me the same value of c. You don't need to worry which coordinate should you use. As long as these two coordinate is passed through one, that means it's on the line, then I can use either one. Okay, then I form the equation. I find the y-intercept, 1842. Okay, so I have two coordinates here, 18 and 42. I want to find the gradient, y minus y over x minus x. That's all. Y minus y over x minus x. So it will be 6 over 3, which is 2. Which is negative 2. Yep, thank you. Yep, so after you get the gradient ready, form the equation, right? So sub into y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to mx plus c. M is negative 2. You can use any coordinate you like. Let's say I prefer first one. I just use first one. This is x and y, right? Plug into my x and y. So my c equals to 10. After I got my c, plug in back to the original equation, negative 2x plus 10. What is y-intercept? Y-intercept is the c, right? Yep, so it will be 0, 10. So 0, 10, which is the 10. Okay, you don't have coordinate, there's just one y-intercept, which is 10. If the question asks about x-intercept, how to find x-intercept from here? We make y 0. So 0 equals to negative 2x plus 10. 2x equals to 10. X equals to 5. This one will be x-intercept. If the question asks, but this question just asks y-intercept. Y-intercept is just c. Okay? C is a y-intercept. Got it? Next. Okay, paper 2 question. Okay. Diagram 4 actually show two parallel lines. You have KL and MN. And draw on the Cartesian plan. The straight line RS is parallel to the y-axis. Alright, so the equation of the straight line KL is that equation. The length of LN is 5. Okay. First thing I want to say the line parallel to y-axis first. What's so special about line parallel to y-axis? If the line parallel to y-axis is must have the same value of x. Example, if this one x equals to 3, then all the coordinate over here, just the y value is changing, x value will remaining 3. So this is the purpose of the line parallel to y-axis. The x value will be always the same. Okay, first information. Okay, the second information is parallel means what? Parallel means they have the same gradient, right? So we have the equation of KL. This equation not so friendly because I cannot get gradient from this equation. This equation is not y equals to ms plus c. So I need to rearrange this equation. Of course, the student commonly will multiply 1 over 3 into it. But don't do it. Don't do this. 1 over 3 just move to the other side. Make your life easier. So 1 over 3, if I move to the other side, I will multiply the 1, which I will get 3. I move the x to the other side. I get y equals to negative x plus 3. So I know my gradient is negative 1. Okay, just in case you cannot imagine, I'm going to write it out. 1/3 x plus y equals to 1. So what I'm doing here is I move the 1/3 to the other side. I get 1 multiply 3/1. Just in case you do not know why, I will get 3. Fraction is multiply. I move to the other side, flip over. Okay, so 1 multiply 3/1, I get 3. So y, I move the x, become minus x, isn't it? So from here, y equals to mx plus c. My m is -1. You got it? Okay. Then the next thing I need to know is, because this is equation of KL, I need to know my coordinate L. Because the question actually tell me Ln is 5. Without knowing the coordinate L, it's very hard for me to do. So what is my L here? L basically is the x-intercept, because KL actually touch the x-axis at L. So L will be the x-intercept. X-intercept make y equals to 0. So my x equals to 3. So that means over here, I try to draw out the thing. So my L is here. This value here is 3, and I have a line like this, right? And then the question tell me the Ln is 5 unit. Is it Ln? Yep, it's 5 unit. So at least I can guess the coordinate of n, right? Because I say parallel to y-axis means what? Same x value. Same x value must be 3. Going down 5 unit from the x-axis will be -5. This is how I get the coordinate of n. And then I have one more line will touch the n and parallel to my KL. Isn't it? Parallel means same gradient, right? We already know the line of gradient for this line. We already know the gradient of this line, which is -1. From the equation, -1. So I want to find the equation. Second equation is very easy, right? I have the gradient, I have the coordinate. I say equation always need these two information. So my gradient is -1 and my coordinate is 3, -5. I can form the equation, right? M equals to -1 and coordinate n. This is coordinate n, 3, -5. Y equals to mx plus c. Sub into x and y. X is 3 plus c. C equals to -2. So y equals to -x minus 2. This is my equation of Mn. This equation of Mn. Because the question asked me to find equation of Mn, and then they asked about equation of Rs. If this line parallel to y-axis touch the value of 3, what is the equation of this line? X equals to 3. Why this line called x equals to 3? Because all the value here, no matter what value here, x is always 3, 1. You can see maybe I have 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, and so on. The share in the common is a 3, right? So this line itself they call x equals to 3. Even though you know 3 in the exam, if you write 3 only, you will not get any mark. Because equation must have the equal sign. Equation must have the equal sign. So this line of Rs called x equals to 3. And equation of Mn is this one. Okay? Next one. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Not the same. What do you mean by the same? Sorry. Oh no. Okay. -5 is not y-intercept. This is not y-axis, you know. This is the line. This is the -5 is the coordinate, y coordinate of n. Your y-intercept is here. So this line doesn't, the y-intercept is -2 what? Do you get it? Yeah, this is not y-axis. Okay, so the next one, find the equation of the straight line PQ and passing through the coordinate R. Okay, so you want to find the equation, find the equation of straight line. It parallel to PQ only, it's not PQ, and passing through R. So that's mean I need to find a line must be parallel to this line. So must have a one line like this. This line actually will passing through the R and parallel to PQ. So since I want to find equation, I need two information. I need the gradient and I need a point. I have a point R already. You cannot use this point and cannot use this point because this line doesn't passing through P or Q. This line only passing through R. So when you sub the coordinate, you cannot use any of these coordinate. But these two coordinate, why they give you these two coordinate? To help you to find gradient. Because you can find the gradient if you have two coordinate. After you find the gradient already, plug in this coordinate, you can find this line which is parallel to this one, passing through R. Okay, so find the gradient. You should know what is the 6 here mean. It means 0, 6. Okay, so -6, 18, and 0, 6. So I have two coordinates, -6, 18, and 0, 6. I'm going to use this one to find the gradient first. Okay, so the gradient formula is y minus y, x minus x. 18 minus 6, -6 minus 0. So it's 12 over -6, which is -2. Okay, I find the gradient already. The next thing I will find will be coordinate. The coordinate will be 6, 8, right? So I'm going to use the 6, 8. So y equals to -2x plus c. Plug in this one into x and y. Y is 8, x is 6, plus c. So y equals, c equals to 20, isn't it? So therefore, the equation is y equals to -2x plus 20. Quite straightforward, but you need to understand, because in this kind of question, because it doesn't draw out a second line for you. You basically, this question, the hard part is you basically need to visualize another line. You need to understand the line will parallel to PQ and will passing through the R. So you need to draw the line yourself and find the equation. Okay? Next. Okay, why so many straight line questions? Okay, last one is this one. Okay, this one I will explain and then I let you guys do this question. I'm not going to do. Okay, you have this diagram. You have PQ, PR, RS. In this Cartesian plan, straight line PR is parallel to y-axis. So this is PR. Parallel to y-axis means what? I say you have the same x value. So that means if here is -3, at least I know my x value of R will be -3. But y value I do not know lah. But this is the information I can get. And then equation of the straight line RS is y equals to 2x plus 4. Where's my RS? Okay, it's here. So the gradient is 2, y-intercept is 4. That's means passing through the 4 here. Alright, find the equation of the PQ. So if you want to find the equation of PQ, it's quite easy, right? Parallel. Parallel means have the same gradient. So the gradient for this line will be 2. If you have the gradient, you have the coordinate, plug into y equals to ms plus c. Just y equals to 2x plus c, and then sub this one into x and y, find c, substitute back. You got this one. X-intercept of PQ. How to find x-intercept? Make y equals to 0. That's all. Simple and easy. Okay, you do it yourself. Alright, next question, next topic, trigonometry. Anything you want to ask me? No? Okay, trigonometry will be a little bit hard. Yeah, because last two topics in my slide here will be slightly hard. But if you're MS student, shouldn't be very hard. But if you only take modern math, you need to learn something new today. Okay, first thing is a saw toa. Yeah, a lot of students know about saw, car, and toa, but nothing special here. But I want to say over here is the saw toa over here, which is the basic formula for sine, cos, and tangent, can only apply to the triangle which has 90 degree. Okay, if today my triangle don't have the 90 degree, that means here one of the angle must be 90 degree. If my triangle don't have 90 degree, I cannot use any of this sokatua. Okay, I give you some example here. So, example, if my triangle look like this triangle don't have 90 degree, I cannot do sokatua, even though I have one of the angle, let's say 30 degree. I can't use any of that formula over here because this triangle don't have 90 degree. But if I want to insist I want to use sokatua, what I can do is I will draw out my 90 degree line by myself. Then this triangle here, I can apply the sokatua rule. But in order to do the sokatua, you make sure you have two information. You either have one line, one angle, or two line without any angle. You must have two information, then only you can apply here. That means if I only have 30 degree, none of the thing I can find. I need to have one more length. Let's say I have this one equal to 10. Then different story already. This triangle here, I have one angle and one length. Then I can find here. I can find this one and I can find this one. Okay, depend which one I want to find. So let's say today I want to find, I'm going to call this one as an x lah, this one as a y. Let's say I want to find x first. Ignore about y. You can see this is what we so-called opposite over hypotenuse. If opposite over hypotenuse, we use sin. So sin 30 equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Then x will equals to 5. Alright, so let's say you want to find y here. This is what we call adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cos 30 equals to, because AH we use cos, adjacent y over 10. Okay, just in case you do not know which one is opposite, which one is adjacent, opposite is just you just imagine if this angle is your eyes, opposite is just directly, you see opposite here, we call opposite. Hypotenuse is the longest line of the triangle, and adjacent is the last line here lah. This is how we define A, O, and H. Okay, then you will get the y equals to what is it? 8.66, right? Okay, so this is how we get the value of y. Okay, but this is not what I want to say today because this is too simple. Okay, what if like this? I give you a right angle triangle. I'm very kind here. This is right angle triangle, but I don't want to give you any value inside here. I give you the value outside. I call it x. Okay, this is the problem. And I give you one length. I tell you this is 5. And I ask you to find, and I give you this length also lah. I give you this one is 10. From here to here is 10, okay? I ask you to find tangent x. Okay, this is what happened, and this is always happen in your paper 1. If you go through a paper 1 question, all the questions is like that. Okay, first thing is this x itself, even though if I want to have triangle, I can draw it myself to form a random triangle here, but it's not useful because this triangle here don't have 90 degree, so I'm not going to do that. So what I will do is like this. If this is angle x, I want to borrow this angle, go into this triangle, I can. If only in one condition, this angle and this angle plus together must equals to 180. If both of these angle plus together is not 180, you cannot do the borrow concept. You just forget it, you can't do that. But if there are a straight line here, I can borrow it like this. I call it x prime because it's not exactly the x, but I call it x prime, mean the x dot here. Okay, so I'm going to use this x dots to find my tangent value. This is what happened. Tangent, x dot. Tangent is what? OA. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Alright. You almost got the answer. Yeah, this is 1/2, I know. But the problem is, you want to find tangent x. It's not x prime.
So you are not finding this one. Then you need to come out this diagram. Add sugar to coffee. Alright, yeah, this is a triangle diagram. Basically, this is 0 to 90 degree, 90 to 180 degree, 180 to 270, and go back to 360. That means this quadrant here is from 0 to 90. This quadrant here is 90 to 180, and so on. Okay, then you kind of need to, okay, have you guys heard about this one? You should know what is at, right? All positive here, sine positive here, tangent positive here, cos positive here. Okay. Okay, you need to guess. This this angle, you guess fall in the which quadrant? This one called 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. This angle actually fall in the second quadrant. Some students ask me, how do you know this one is more than 90? Very obvious, because this angle must be less than 90, right? You don't tell me is it possible this angle is 90? Because this angle, if this angle is 90, 90 plus 90, 180 already, then this angle shouldn't exist anymore. Because triangle is 180 only. So if this angle is less than 90, this one definitely more than 90. Okay, but it cannot more than 180 because what? This is straight line. If more than 180, we'll go to third quadrant. Okay, now we go to second quadrant. S tell me what? Only sine can be positive. Cos and tangent must be negative. So only sine can positive, right? Now I find tangent. Tangent must be negative. So my tangent x equals to negative 1 over 2. So this negative kind of, I need to add it by myself. So this is the case always happen in SPM, which you always need to borrow the angle. And then after you borrow the angle already, you need to see the angle actually fall in which quadrant. And then you need to decide, should you add the negative for it? Okay? Okay, so next one. Yep, unit circle. You will see in your past year question. Okay, unit circle actually nothing much to say because it's quite straightforward. But what I want to say about unit circle is the hypotenuse will always equals to 1 for unit circle. You check out this unit circle, they call units because it's 1 unit. So that means this circle over here, the hypotenuse of any circle, hypotenuse is always 1. Even the question doesn't tell you, this length here is 1. So if you want to know the sine theta for this one example, I use this triangle. Sine theta for this one, sine is what? OH, right? O over H. What is your O value here? If x, y, this value is y, right? Based on what I read from y. So y over 1. So therefore equals to y coordinate. What is my cos? Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? This is x value. X over 1, so it's x coordinate. And my tangent is x over y. Okay, but this one will have a negative based on any coordinate you get from here. But this circle, unit circle, good thing is they will only take the point on the circumference. You don't have any point within or outside of the circle, just on the circle. Okay, so nothing much about unit circle, so I will move on. Yep, this is what I say just now. Yep, and then yeah, in paper 1, I guess paper 1, you kind of need to remember the pattern of sine, cos, and tangent. And yeah, it's a bit hard for modern math students, but I try to make this thing simple a bit. This is sine, this is cos, and I forget to draw about tangent. This is tangent. Because tangent seldom come out in paper 1, but it might come out also. Over here, I want to, you only need to remember certain point. You don't need to remember the all point here. Okay, when this is sine graph, this is cos graph, this is tangent graph. Okay, we just learned the basic one because this is not the general equation of sine, but I think in modern math you only will see something like this. Okay, y equals to sine x. Okay, something you need to pay attention is what is the maximum here? Always equals to 1. Okay, and it happened at when it is 90 degree. Okay, how do you know I'm not lying to you? You can use your calculator. You type sine 90, it will tell you equals to 1. Okay, this is your maximum. That means when I say maximum is 1, that means your sine graph, you will never get any value more than 1. Okay, I'm going to prove it. So let's say I say my sine x equals to any value more than 1, 1.2. You see what happened? If I move my sine to the other side, inverse sine, right? You type in your calculator inverse sine 1.2, see what your calculator tell you? You will get math error. Because you cannot get any value more than 1. If you not believe me, you can try 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any value more than 1, definitely you'll get math error. There's no way you can get the answer. You tell me if you got. Alright, so minimum value. So because this half circle and this half, actually it's not the circle. I mean this half of it and half of it must be symmetry. So this one is a negative 1. Happen at 270. Of course, you can do the same thing. You type sine 270, you will get negative 1. It's the minimum. When I say minimum, same thing. You cannot get any value less than negative 1. So if you do inverse sine negative 2, you'll get math error. Even though you try negative 1.000001, you also get math error because the value is less than negative 1. So remember minimum, maximum point. And 3 more points you need to remember for sine. 0, 180, 360. So 0, 180, 360. You need to remember this because in the paper one, they will come out part of the graph and ask you guess which one is the correct answer, something like that. So if you do not know the angle, it's kind of hard for you. 0, 180, 360. Okay, we go to cos. Cos and sine similar. Maximum 1, minimum negative 1. Okay, but 1 happened at 2 angles, 0 and 360. And 180 is the negative 1. Okay, and cos, you will get 2 value for 0. This one is 90 and 270. Okay, because what? This one y equals to 0 is not the same with the 0 here. So example, today I will say cos y equals to 0. If you type in your calculator will tell you one of the answer, 90 degrees. You move the cos to the other side, inverse cos 0. Calculator will tell you 90. But the calculator will never tell you 270. So you need to sort of remember the second 0. That means when cos y equals 0, you have two answers here. 0 and 90 and 270. Okay, this is cos. Lastly is about tangent. Tangent similar to sine at the 0 value. 0, 180, 360. Okay, these 3 points. And for tangent, there's 2 value here. The tangent graph can never touch, which is 90 and 270. So therefore, if you try to do something like tangent x equals to 90 degrees, you will get math error because tangent graph can never touch the 90 degree and 270 as well. But what's so special about tangent is it don't have maximum and don't have minimum. Tangent graph value can go up to billion, it can go trillion, it can go forever, like infinity. The minimum also can go to negative infinity. It's not like sine and cos limit by 1 and negative 1. Tangent don't have maximum and don't have minimum. Okay, this is something you need to understand about sine, cos, and tangent. Then we can have a look at the question. Okay, the first one, unit circle. Okay, this unit circle is a bit unusual, but you still need to. Okay, because what? This unit circle question, if you purely use calculator without thinking, you will get the answer wrong. Most likely you will get answer wrong. Okay, I will draw the vertical line by myself, and I can't read the question. Is negative 0.6 and negative 0.8, if not mistaken? 0.6 and negative 0.8, if not mistaken. 0.6 and negative 0.8, if not mistaken. 0.8 and negative 0.8, if not mistaken. 0.6 and negative 0.8, if not mistaken. 0.8 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 negative 0.6 and negative 0.8. And then they ask you to find this angle which they call it as P, isn't it? Okay. Okay, this one, of course, we know this is a coordinate. If somehow you smart enough, you use tangent, then maybe you will get this answer correct. But what if I use sine and cos? Because I say unit circle hypotenuse is 1, isn't it? So over here, even though you see the negative, but now we need length. We don't want coordinates. It's too confusing. So coordinates here is x, right? 0.6, 0.8. Okay, if you write like this, then it's fine. If you use the negative, then you will get the wrong answer. Because like just now I say sine theta. Okay, let's say this is theta. Is equals to the y coordinate, right? So then you write negative 0.8. Then you move the calculator to you move the side to the other side. Your calculator will tell you negative angle, which you do not want negative angle, because negative angle don't help you to find this theta at all. So what I want you to do is, whenever you have the coordinate, don't care is positive or negative, write the value here. Now then you can easily find. So my sine theta here is what? OH, right? 0.8 over 1. Then my theta is, use the calculator. What is the inverse sine 0.8? What is that? 53.13. Alright, if this is 53.13, you know P is 180 minus 53.13, right? Then you can get the correct answer. So answer will be C lah, okay? Okay, second question here. Okay, for second question over here, what I want to say is, you always will see something like this in paper 1. They will tell you tangent x equals to 24 over 7. This 24 over 7 is not necessary it's a length. It's basically it's a ratio. Okay, that means you see 24. It doesn't mean the length is 24 centimeter. It just means the ratio is 24 over 7. That means when I say ratio means what? The length can be times 2, 48, 14. The length can be times 3. The length can be times 4. So this one basically is a ratio. So it can times 1, then become 24 centimeter lah. So remember, this one is a ratio, it's not the length. Okay, so therefore, tangent x, we focus on the x here, is 24, 7. Tangent tell you what? Opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 24, adjacent will be 7. Opposite is here, 24. Adjacent, 7. Okay. Then they ask you to find cos y. Okay, this is the same example like just now. This angle more than 90. And this angle we cannot form a triangle, right? We need to borrow here. So I'm going to borrow y here. Okay, so let me use the whiteboard over there. So here got an x here, here have a y here, and then we know this one is 24, 7. Okay, the question asked me to find the cos y, isn't it? Yep, cos y. Okay, when I do the cos y, because I know this angle in which quadrant? Add sugar to coffee. This one at the second quadrant, isn't it? I say second is between 90 to 180. Second quadrant, write S over here means what? Only sine can be positive. Cos and tangent will be negative. When I see this letter over here, mean only tangent positive, only cos positive. So only sine positive. So that means it's cos, right? Without start to find any value, I will know this one must be negative, because it's fall in the second quadrant. Okay, then I will borrow here to find my cos. Cos is what? Cos will be adjacent over hypotenuse. How do I find hypotenuse? Pythagoras. 7 square plus 24 square. Yeah, square root it, you will get 25, right? So this length itself will be 25. So cos is adjacent hypotenuse. Adjacent hypotenuse 24 over 25. Okay, this is how we solve this kind of question. Okay, in this case, we do need to find length, so I just use the ratio here. Okay, Pythagoras, you can use Pythagoras when the triangle have 90 degree. Not all the triangle can use Pythagoras. Let's say today I have 3, 4. This one is not 5. If here is not 90 degree, we need to find this one. Unless this is 90 degree, 3, 4, 5, yes. If I erase this 90 degree, no, this one is not 5. Not all the triangle is 3, 4, 5. Okay, so yep, move on to the next question. Alright, find P and Q. So this is the reason just now I asked you to remember a triangle. Remember the graph. Okay, just in case in the exam, you cannot remember the graph value. I mean, remember the graph value. But at least you should know this is sine and this is cos. You at least need to remember the pattern. You can't remember the value, you can't remember the pattern, then this one you definitely cannot do. Okay, let's say you guess this is sine and this is cos. So at least I can help you something is, because P here, it touch at 1, right? So what you can do is you type in your calculator inverse sine 1. Then your calculator will tell you 90 degree. Then you know this is 90. So you can do inverse sine 1 because it touch at 1 at y value here. Then you at least you get the 90 here. Same thing here. Okay, this one is a bit not so friendly. You can type inverse sine 0 because it's actually at 0, right? But then calculator will tell you 90. So therefore you should know the second angle here between this one and this one, the gap here is 180. So if here calculator tell you it's 90, you're going to plus 180 and you get 270 here. The gap here is 180 degree. So therefore this is 270. 270 plus 90, answer is 360. So the answer is donkey. So if you cannot remember the value, at least you know how to type in the calculator and you know this is sine, cos. Tangent is the weird one. So sine and cos actually is quite simple. And just something extra, not necessarily coming out. Sine and cos actually they are related. If I continue drawing, actually sine and cos they will keep on going until infinity one. You see, if I move my sine graph to my left hand side 90 degree, I move the whole thing to the left hand side 90 degree. My y-axis is over here already, right? If my y-axis is over here, you realize this one is a cos graph. So therefore, the relationship between sine and cos is just 90 degree. Okay, but if you couldn't see, never mind. It's not in your syllabus. Okay, this one a bit hard. I mean, it's harder than I think because at first I put this question, I thought it's very easy. But I tried yesterday, it's slightly difficult. Because of what? Because over here, they give you the cos KLM. KLM, they give you this angle, and they give you this value. I say this value is the ratio. It means what? Cos is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent, this if angle is here, this is opposite, right? This is adjacent, this is hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent is 4, hypotenuse is 5. You see, here is 4. Ratio 4 become 8. How 4 become 8? Multiply 2, isn't it? So here is 4 become 8, then 5 will become 10. Exactly. This is 8, this is 10, then this one will be 6. 3, 4, 5, right? Then this is 6. If you do not know how to find 6, just use 10 square minus 8 square, square root it, you get 6. So at least we get some value, 6, 8, and 10. But this is not what we want to find. We want to find tangent x. And the problem is this x. This one fall in which quadrant? Okay, you guess this angle is between in the 4th quadrant. Because this angle is definitely more than 270 and less than 360. Because this one is less than 90, right? 360 minus value less than 90. Definitely this value is more than 270. It's some concept here. But just in case you lost here, I'm going to help you. So I have this angle here, and this one is x. Okay, we go back to this one, add sugar to coffee. Okay, add sugar to coffee, tell me 270 to 360 will be 4th quadrant. For fourth quadrant, only cos can be positive. That means sine and tangent must be negative. And this question actually, I think they got typing error. Don't have an answer one. A, B, C, D also all wrong one. Okay. But anyways, I will tell you the correct answer. Okay, so first thing is the question asked me to find tangent x, right? So I want to find tangent x. I know must be negative lah. First information I know because it's in the fourth quadrant. Okay, then I can borrow this one to solve. But the problem is I don't have the enough length here. I only have a small triangle here. And just now we find already is 6, 8, 10, right? And then this one is y, isn't it? No, it doesn't say. It just say the angle. This is what angle again? KLM. Okay. Let me label it easier for me to say. This is midpoint, so this is another 10. N M L K M M L K, and last one is Z. 90 degree. Okay, so what I want to do here is I'm going to use a ratio. Even though you got this one is 10, it actually is 20 here. Actually, is not so useful. But at least we agree something is okay. This angle for this one, right? KLM. Angle for KLM, is it same with the angle for NLJ? Is it the same? NLJ. They have the same angle or not? Okay, let's say we call this one after 50 degree. 50 degree for this triangle, is it same with 50 degree for this triangle? So if they are the same angle, that means I can use the ratio. What is the ratio given? It is 4/5, right? 4/5. Okay, so that mean I can use in the big triangle. This is cos, right? This is cos, right? Okay, the big triangle here, 4/5. Adjacent is here. Hypotenuse is here. So if 20 here equals to ratio 4, so I know I need to multiply 5. 4 times 5 equals 20, right? So this one is 5. 5 need to times 5 will be 25. So here is 8. The whole thing must be 25, right? Never mind, we don't need to know the other part. Okay, so of course here will be 17. Here will be 17 because the whole thing must be 25. Okay, just in case you lost, like one more time. Okay, because this angle is the same. So cos LKM will same with the cos and LJ. So I'm going to use the same 4/5 here. So you focus on this triangle, ignore about this small triangle because not useful anymore. So over here, if I use the same angle here, I call it y, I call it y. If I use the angle y here, 4 is adjacent, cos, right? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent is 20. Then my hypotenuse must be 25 because this is ratio. So this one explains why this is 25. Okay, if I know this is 10, this is 25, I can find this length, right? What is this length? Will be 8, is it? 25, yeah, 3, no, it will be 15. Is it 15? 3, 4, 5, what? 15, right? Yeah. Okay, then we come back to tangent x. Okay, I said fourth quadrant, add a negative. Tangent is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So will be, what am I saying? Opposite OA, right? Opposite over adjacent. 20/15. Negative 4/3. Okay, so yeah, because I said this question is a bit hard because you have two triangles and it only give you the information for one triangle, and you need to understand you can use the same angle ratio for the big triangle. And then from there, use the ratio to find out the hypotenuse length. From there, you need to find the opposite length by yourself using the Pythagoras. And then you still need to understand the last part is fourth quadrant, tangent is negative. So yeah, so this I think is kind of the K-bar question here. For question 11 here, It's very easy, but also very tricky. Okay, determines the number of intersection point between the graphs sine x and cos y. X must be between 0 to 360 and state the value of x. So, because in trigo, range is very, very, very important. When they say range is 90 to 360, any value outside the range, I will straight away cancel. Can I take 45? No, I cannot take 45 because of what? 45 is before 90, right? So 45 cannot take. So A definitely wrong. Donkey also definitely wrong because D over here got 45, right? So these two is wrong already. Okay, next thing is my answer B or C? Because they say intersections between sine and cos. That means I insert this value into my x here, I should get the same value of y. So you can use the calculator trying to type sine 225. You will get 0.7071, right? I hope I remember correctly. And then you type cos 225. Are you getting the same value? If you're getting the same value means what? They intersect at 225. Okay, you try to type sine 90 and then you type cos 90. You get a different value, right? Because sine 90 is 1, cos 90 is 0. If you get a different value, means they does not intersect at 90. So the answer will be B. They only intersect 1 point. Yeah, actually B and D also correct, but because D have 45, it's out of the range. So D cannot take. Okay, so answer is B. So this is something you can use the calculator in case you cannot remember the value. Use the calculator to check whether they intersect or not. If they do intersect, you will get the same value. If they do not intersect, you won't get the same value. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is a bit tricky. When I see it, I also like stuck for a while. You guess what is the answer? Okay. Because this one actually the drawing itself is confusing. Okay, but because what? The y-axis shouldn't happen at 135. I mean, in trigo, y-axis must be always start from 0 angle. But because this one start at 135, we just assume the y-axis is here lah. Y-axis is here. Okay. But anyways, okay, I can teach you how to do this kind of question if you don't understand the graph. So first thing is you want to know, because here is 135, right? You're going to insert cos 135 into calculator. See what value you get. Cos 135. Negative 0.7 something, right? So that means at 135, I will get negative value. So this one at 0, definitely wrong. 135, I cannot get this one. So the closer one might be this one or this one. Because this one get negative, we do not know what is the negative value. But because I say gap here is 0 to negative 1, right? You see the gap here, negative 0.7, which one closer? This one closer, right? This one doesn't seems like, this one seems like negative 0.2 maybe. This one seems like negative 0.7. So if I guess, I will guess this one. This one cannot because it's positive. So therefore, answer is C. Yeah, because this graph itself is very confusing. Okay, number 10 here. Okay, number 10 here, I will explain. I will give you guys go back home do because we have not enough time. Okay, this one, you have a triangle, and then they tell you sine x equals to, what is that? 9 over 5, okay, it's 9 over 5. And uv equals to 3sv. Okay, so we see x first. X is here, right? This is ratio, 9 over 5. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 9 over 5? You sure? No, sine cannot be 9 over 5. 9 over 5 is math error. 3 over 5 is a 3 over 5. Okay, because sine cannot be more than 1. 9 over 5 is more than 1 already. Definitely give you math error. So that this number is 3 over 5. Okay, 3 is opposite, 5 is hypotenuse. Since the hypotenuse is 10, I said this is ratio, right? 5 go to 10 times 2. So 3 will times 2 also. So here will be 6. Here is 10, here is 6, this one will be 8. 3, 4, 5, okay? Pythagoras. Okay, then the next thing is VU equals to 3SV. Where's VU? VU equals to triple of this one. So whatever this length is, this one will be triple of it, right? So therefore the ratio is 1 and 3. Ratio is 1 and 3. Just in case you cannot see the ratio, you can always change it into a fraction. VU, is it VU equals to 3SV, is it? So if you cannot see the ratio, change it into a fraction. VU over SV, this is 3, right? Equals to 3. When you nothing at the bottom means over 1, isn't it? This one over this one equal to this one over this one. So therefore, VU ratio SV equals to 3 ratio 1. When this one over this one equal to this one over this one, that means this one ratio this one equal to this one ratio this one. We can always change the fraction into ratio if you want. So it's 3 ratio 1. So if this one over here is 3 ratio 1, total is 8, right? Just now total is 8, so this is 2 centimeter, this is 6 centimeter. Use the ratio. Okay? And this one is a bit hard because you need to use a similar triangle. And then ask you to find tangent y. Same thing. You don't have this one and you don't have this one. But you have the small one, isn't it? This is 6. This is 2. And this angle over here, is it same with this angle? This y will same with this y, isn't it? Because these two lines is parallel. So if this angle is the same, I can use this triangle to solve. You can see I can borrow here, right? This y will same with this one. I borrow the small y here. Tangent OA, 6 over 2. 6 over 2, 6 over 2 is 3, isn't it? So you can choose 3, but then the problem is this angle in second quadrant. Second quadrant only sine positive. Tangent must be negative, so it's negative 3. No answer here. The answer is closer, is C lah. It's negative 3. If you don't understand, go back to watch the replay. I'm too tired already. Oh, okay. Real quick, yeah, because I have one long topic to teach. Okay, this one over here, I will need whiteboard. Okay. Over here, angle elevation. When we call angle elevation, angle depression, right? One of the very important thing is you must always have the horizontal line. When we say horizontal line, that means the line must be parallel to x-axis. If you couldn't find a line parallel to x-axis, you cannot get angle elevation or depression. Because, okay, of course we know angle elevation means look up, right? That means if I'm standing here, actually got a human here, but blocking here. Okay, this guy look at the bird here. So a lot of students will think angle elevation is this angle. It seems like makes sense because this guy look at the bird, the angle is here, look correct. But then the problem is this angle don't have horizontal line. I said horizontal line, this is vertical line. You forget about vertical line, not useful, and elevation and depression. So I need to draw the horizontal line by myself. I mean, I need to draw this line by myself. So my angle elevation is from this line up to here. So it's over here. You imagine you have a line here, so angle is here. So never take this angle. So whenever you want to find angle elevation, find where is the horizontal line, and this one will be angle elevation. This one will wrong. This one will be wrong. Same idea to angle depression. If the bird want to look at a human, so what happened here is a lot of students will take this angle. Same problem. This angle don't have horizontal line. So this angle is wrong. We need to draw the horizontal line by ourselves. Then we can get the angle depression, which is this one. And this topic only use tangent. You learn about sine cos tangent, right? Sokatoa. Only use tangent. This topic I never see use sine and cos before, but if come out, we just use sine and cos lah. Because it's always opposite over adjacent in this topic. If you want to guess, you choose tangent, you get correct most of the time. Okay, this is an easy one. Okay, so this diagram actually shows the vertical pole, a row with bunting flat we start from the peak of the pole to the point P and lies on the horizontal ground. Okay, so angle depression of P from the top of the pole is 42. So if you think 42 is here, then you will get wrong. Because why? This angle don't have horizontal line. So angle depression is this one, come down 42. So let's draw it out. So this one will be my 42. And just now I say, this line must be parallel to the x-axis, right? Or parallel to the ground. Because they are parallel, I can use the alternate angle, right? You learn about alternate angle in Form 3, right? This one will be 42. Isn't it? Z, do you learn about the Z thing? This angle, for any Z here, this angle and this angle will be the same. These two lines must be parallel lah. This one we call alternate angle. So this is 42. After you know this is 42, the rest will be very easy. So they will tell you the distance P from the bottom pole is 0.8. Find the length of the loop. So this is 0.8 according to the question. So they ask you to find this length, the length of the pole. So use tangent, right? Opposite over adjacent. So I use tangent. Tangent 42 equals to x over 0.8. So x is just equals to tangent 42 multiply 0.8. Then you get the correct answer. Okay, very easy. So the only difficult part is a lot of students will say 42 with this one. Then you will get wrong because this angle itself is 48. It's not 42. If you take the wrong angle, this part normally you got wrong. Okay, this one a little bit confusing. It's a MRSM question also, 2018. Okay, they ask you ABCD. Which one represent angle elevation? Okay, first idea over here is you have to understand what is the meaning of elevation. Elevation basically means look up, right? So that means when you want to look up, right? So I will not choose the B, even though B is makes sense, but it's an angle depression. You see, angle depression. So B and C is wrong also. This one actually is an angle depression also. Elevation must look up, so I cancel these two. All right, and for this part, if I inside this car, I want to look at the bird. This angle looks so weird, so I will not choose A. So angle is D. Okay, very obvious. Horizontal line, look up. So angle is donkey. That's all for this part. This part you can keep on practice. It's quite easy. If you understand about horizontal line, always find the horizontal line. Then you will find this topic is very easy. Okay, last topic of today. If you have extra time, we will go to circle 3 and set. Okay, for this topic, you need to be prepared to be very confusing because this topic is the most confusing and I hate this topic as much as you because it's very hard to teach also. Okay, first idea. First idea is like this. Let's say this is a paper. If I put a pen on the paper, so you can imagine, just borrow me the paper. Okay. If I have a paper here, and I put a pen on the table, on the paper, so you can see actually I will have the shadow. I will have the shadow, if the light is on the top, right, I will have the shadow of the pen, right, on the paper here. Thank you. So, the shadow will look like this. This one will be a shadow line. Of course, the mathematic name they call orthogonal projection. Okay, is a long name. Okay, just remember this line is a shadow line. This line is extremely important if you want to find the angle. And this line is normal line. A normal line actually, forget about the name. Normal line basically means is make this in the right angle triangle. Okay, but in this topic, one of the important tips is you always need to know where is the light. Depend where is the paper. Okay, because the paper not necessarily always at the bottom. The paper can be here, or the paper can be on the top. So if the paper on the top, I put the pen here, the shadow will be here. If the paper is like this, I put the pen here, the shadow will be here. Depend where is the paper. But this one is not solving all your problem because this one only solving when you have line and a plane. But in SPM, they love plane and the plane. So therefore, this one doesn't work for plane and a plane, but this idea work in all the case for line and the plane. All right, so remember, find the shadow line and add the light by yourself. Okay, this is a confusing part. Okay, let me trying to explain this one. Okay, this one actually I find out myself is not in any reference book, so I hope it's correct. I'm still doing a lot of experiment on it. So, okay, if you have a plane and the plane is look a bit weird, you have a paper, right? Actually, print over there. Okay, the problem is I trying to get something similar. Okay, I take my iPad. Okay, let's say I have two planes over here. The problem is the angle between two planes depend which line you take, because I very scared my iPad fall. Okay, because you see if I take this line, and this line, okay, let's say this line is 10 centimeter. This is 12 centimeter. If I take this line and this line, example lah, then I will have certain angle here. But what if I take this line from here to here? I take this line like this. Then my length actually become longer already, right? Because a lot of students will think that this angle and this angle will be the same, which is not. As long as it's very important, like which line I take inside this plane here. So if you want to find the angle between these two planes, right, we always take the angle using the shortest line. We always use the shortest line, and we never use the diagonal, because the diagonal, okay, because the diagonal itself actually will give you the wrong angle. So therefore, okay, ignore about my iPad. Okay, therefore, if you have a triangle and a rectangle here, you're trying to find the angle between this plane and this red color and blue color one. We can never take the ABQ, because this line is not the shortest among these two planes. So we always need to take the shortest one. So normally I will take the middle. This line is shortest, right? This line compared to this line, obviously this line is the shortest. Trying to avoid the diagonal, because a lot of students will think this angle and this angle will be the same, which is not. That means among this rectangle plane here, I will take the shortest one, which is the BQ. I can take the line BQ, but the BQ cannot pair with the A, because AB is not the shortest line. So therefore, trying to avoid diagonal if possible, because unless it's the shadow lah, this one, unless you can ignore first, because seldom happen. Always pick the shortest line whenever possible. So therefore, when you see something like this, right, I will take A to the midpoint of the AC here. Normally this one will be a nice triangle lah. It's also a triangle. And then I will take the BQ, same length with BQ. I will not take, let's say here got a K, I will not do BK, because this line is not the shortest. Shortest always is a BQ. If you don't understand, it's fine, because it's not easy to understand. We have a look some question here. Okay. We have this diagram, and it is a cuboid, and then you have a midpoint. So EDTU are the midpoint of each other lah. So basically, this one is the midpoint of this one is the midpoint of this one. Okay, whenever you see the midpoint, right, in SPM or some past year paper, I see most of the time you can use midpoint. Whenever they give you midpoint, most of the time you can use midpoint to get the correct answer. So they ask you to find the angle between CDT and ABCD. Okay, over here, I teach you something. Do you see they repeat the CD? Repeat CD means what? The plane, actually they touch at the line CD. Do you see this plane? Actually they touch at the line CD. So angle must be on this line, right? So no need to guess, is it angle at T or angle at somewhere else? When they touch CD, angle must at CD. Because they see the word repeat CD, so the angle must be here. And if you ask me where is the angle, of course I know the angle will be T, F, and U. Because what? You might see, okay, we see one by one. FTU, where is F? F is here, FTU is the answer lah. Okay, next one. TFE, T to F to E, where's E? Where's E? Where's E? Where's E? Where is E? Oh, I guess No, this is the answer. TFE, not TFU. Because what? Because they want the plan between ABCD, right? ABCD is on the top. You imagine if you have a top. I don't want to use an iPad. Okay, it's fine. Imagine I want to use this plan and this plan at the middle. This plan at the middle, so the angle must be between here, right? So just now I say FTU, the angle at T here, which is wrong. Do you see? FTU, the angle at here. Cannot be. I say angle must at CD because they intersect at CD. So the first one cannot. Okay, TFE, TF and E. So the angle is just nice because this is the plan on the top, right? So I must have the line FE. So therefore the answer is B. Let's have a look on C. EUT. E, U, and T. EUT angle at U, right? Angle cannot be at U because they intersect at CD. So this one is wrong. UET. UET. Okay, UET is wrong also because the angle must at CD. So over here, angle at CD, only one line touch CD, only one point touch CD, right, which is F. So even though you guess over here, you will guess B. Because U doesn't at CD, T doesn't at CD, and E also doesn't at CD. Because they intersect at CD. Do you get it? Okay? I hope you get it. Okay, next one. Yeah, we're getting harder and harder. Okay. State the angle between the line QN and PRST. Okay, where is PRST? PRST is basically this rectangle plan here. Okay, QN. Where is QN? Q to N, right, is a diagonal here. So this is line and the plane. So you can use the shadow method. You imagine this is the line here. I must have a shadow at the PRST here. Therefore, I have a light from the back, isn't it? So, yep, borrow me paper. Okay, I have a plane here, and then I have a line at the back, QN. So this line at the back here, I want to have a shadow in this plane. So therefore, if QN here, my shadow, if I have the spotlight from the back, I spot on my QN here, my shadow, is it NM? Are you able to see the shadow or not? No. Okay, interesting. Come. Let's have a look here. Okay, I have a plane like this, and then this is 3 dimension, and I have a Q from somewhere here and connected to my N here. QN. Is it Q? Yep. Okay. This one actually is at the back, so I use dotted line. It's easier for me to explain. Okay, this is a plane, and then this line actually is hidden at the back. So if I put a spotlight from the back on this line, so I should have a shadow somewhere here, right? I should have a shadow on this plane. You imagine a paper here, have a line at the back. I spotlight from here. I should have a line from there, right? So where is the line? So therefore, from here, you see if QN is over here, you have a spotlight from the back. Where is the line? You can guess the line is PT, is MN, and PS is obviously is MN. Why? Because Q go to N. That means the shadow must stop at N, right? The shadow must be N to M. There's no way you can get PT, right? Because the line from Q to N, how possible is shadow will stop at T or S? Not possible, right? So therefore, it's over here. So the angle will be Q, N, and M. Q or MMQ is the same. M, N, and Q. Okay, so answer will be B. Yeah, if you can't see, practice it. Okay, this is a confusing one. Okay, so you have a shape like this, and then the shaded region is here, obviously. So they ask you to name the angle between K, uh, Kij, Kij and FG KJ. Where is FG KJ? F F F F F F G KJ. Okay, the plan at the back. Do you see a trapezium here? All right. First thing, I want to find where is the intersection point first. I find the same words, K and J. Do you see K and J here? K and J here. So they intersect at K and J. So my angle at the middle must be K and J. And okay, in this case, all four also K and J. So no point. All right. Then the next thing is avoid the diagonal. Use the shortest line. Over here, okay, GKI. Where is GKI? G, K, and I. The problem is this plan and the plan at the back here, K to I is a diagonal. So I don't want. Next one, IJF. I, J, and F. Okay, obviously this is the answer, I, J, and F, because you imagine this one is this plan and one plan at the back. The angle between them is this one, right? This line is the shortest line. Over here, you cannot line. I mean, in this plan over here, you cannot find any line shorter than this one. And this one is the shortest line also for this plan. I mean, in this plan over here, you cannot find any line shorter than this one. But anyway, check the next one. GJI. GJI. You can see a GJI. You can see G to J is a diagonal already. This line is very long compared to this line, isn't it? I mean, JF and GJ, definitely GJ is a lot longer. No, so I don't use this one. I, K, and F. So I, K, and F. I, K, and F. Okay, you can see KF here. KF here is longer to my JF, right? And I to K is a diagonal. K to F is a diagonal also. So I cannot take this one. So the answer is B. Yeah, you're trying to practice using the rule, and you will always get the correct answer. Okay. Okay, this one, the diagram 8 actually show the pyramid with a very horizontal regular pentagon. Regular pentagon is an important word here, because regular means all the sides is the same length. We call regular. Okay, so with a side of 12, that means each of the length will be 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. All right, V is the peak of the pyramid and 23 centimeter vertical above the K. So K vertical 23 centimeter, we get V. Vertical means what? If this is a horizontal plane, vertical means 90 degree from the horizontal plane. This is horizontal plane, this is 90 degree. Okay, so here is 23 centimeter. All right, and then they give you two lines. MK is 9.4 and JK, IK is 9.4 also. So here got two lines, which is 9.4 and 9.4. All right, then, okay, this is the inclined line, nothing here. Find the angle between the line VM. Okay, V to M. And the plane, the pentagon. Okay, so VM and the pentagon. I want to see a shadow of VN on my pentagon. So my spotlight must be on the top, isn't it? If I spotlight over here, I cannot see the shadow on my plane. So my spotlight will be on the top. So imagine if you have a line like this, spotlight on the top. The VM will give me the shadow must start with M, right? M to K, obviously, because this one vertical above it, right? So this is your triangle. VMK. Angle at M. The angle impossible at V because must be this plane and this line, isn't it? So angle at M here. So you draw out this triangle and name it first. So angle VMK. And draw out this triangle. You know this one is 9.4 is given. You know this is 23 is given. You want to find the angle, use tangent. 23 over 9.4. Solve it, you get the answer. Okay, quite simple. Okay, one more here. Okay, let me read. Got any important word here? Right, prism. Da 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 da. Okay, they tell you EG and okay, EG. Where is EG? Okay, EG is and FH is 1.5. Okay, with 1.5 here, they doesn't write. The rest they give you. Name the angle between this one. FBG. Where is FBG? F FBG. So FB and G. Okay, FBG and ABCD and ABCD at the bottom. Okay, so you have a FBG here. What I will do is, okay, so you have this plan over here. I kind of need to sketch out this thing. Okay, G. Okay, so right now you have this plan and the ABCD and the plan at the bottom. They want to find the angle between this plan and this plan. So first thing is I need to find intersection point first. Where is the intersection point? The intersect over here, right? So therefore, my intersection is definitely over here. Okay, and then the next thing is I trying to avoid diagonal line. So this one over here should be 90 degree above, right? So that means this line and this line is the same line, isn't it? So I will take this one to G, and then I will use the middle point here. Do you see that? If I take this line, you can see this line, what is this coordinate on the top? F, isn't it? You can see from F to B is a diagonal line. And if you're not sure which one is diagonal, okay, you see F to G and F to B, which line is longer? FB is longer, right? FG definitely is the shortest one. I say always choose the shortest one. So if you're not sure you want to choose FG and FB, choose the FG because it's shortest than this one. Because this one is crossed to another side, right? If you see carefully, it crossed to another side. So therefore, we choose FG. So I will draw out the triangle, and I hope it give you 1 point at the back there. Yeah, FG and H. So the angle will be FG and H. And you just need to draw out this triangle to solve it, FG and H. The angle over here, right? Yeah, you find the value and solve it, I guess. Yeah, you have the GE, right? EG equals to 1.5. Okay, so this one will be 1.5 here. And then you have the length 2.5. Then you can use the tangent. Tangent theta equals to 1.5 over 2.5. Solve it, you get the answer. Yup, that's all. Okay, so yeah, we have half an hour Q&A, but we left 20 minutes. Is there anything you want to ask me? I should have a box for paper. Okay. Please write your question on a small paper. Oh no, this is not. Yep. For math week student to I want. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The student actually asked like, what topic you need to score if you want to pass the mathematics. Okay. So actually, this one no need I tell you. You just go back home. You open the any reference book. Basically, at the first page there, they have the analysis. You choose the topic, will come out in paper 1 and paper 2 one. Means you understand that topic, you can actually get more mark, right? Compared to certain topic. If you want to ask me which topic you should avoid, like bearing you need to study until so hard, you only get 1 mark only. And paper 1 always come out one question, never come out in paper 2. So bearing, you can actually forget about it. So like depression or elevation, if you don't like, you can forget about it. Like important topic, let's say I would say earth. Earth is actually quite important because it come out paper 1 is about 3 questions, 2 to 3 questions, and paper 2 normally have about 10 mark question for earth. Yeah, so and then for paper 2, you have few questions is 10 mark one. Like graph 1, you must always score the statistic and earth, and yeah, the last the call what the draw the plan one. Yeah, that those topic you need to score also lah. So any more questions? Is there anything else? If no, okay, I will pass the mic to this lady.